Everyone, we really challenged our players after Saturday's scrimmage with pad level and leverage, being a much more physical football team. I've really liked their approach all spring, the mental effort, the mental intensity, but I didn't like it today. I thought we took a step back as a football team. I didn't think we showed much leadership, and we weren't very physical in practice today. And even though it's practice 7, we have to understand that these 15 opportunities are very precious, and you only get so many of them. And sometimes you become too casual in spring football, and it's all about when you walk in those doors of the Anderson Training Center, it's all about mental effort, mental intensity, and being at your best each and every day. And there's a standard and there's an expectation. But these players have done a good job. They'll bounce back. They'll be ready for meetings, and they'll be ready to go on Thursday. But for the first time, I'm not pleased. I thought we took a step back, and our leadership needs to step up. We have older players in the program now. They understand the standard and the expectations, and it was not up to our standard, and it was not up to our expectations, and that will never be tolerated around here. In terms of injuries, Sheriron Jones will miss the rest of the spring. He kind of had an unusual injury on Saturday, so we expect him to fully be back by June and by the start of training camp, but he'll miss the rest. We were down a little bit with quarterback as Joshua Dobbs is in Atlanta receiving her leadership award, and it's all about, you talk about a young man who go back home to his home state of Georgia, to Atlanta, and receive a prestigious award like that. He embodies what a student athlete is, and I know Stephanie and Robert have done such a tremendous job of raising him, and he embodies everything that we stand for.
Butch, 2 things. First of all, how long do you expect Sheriron to be out beyond spring? And second of all, when it's not up to the standards like you alluded to, how do you challenge them, I guess, to hit the reset button before Thursday?
Well, again, that's where you rely on your maturity, and that's where you rely. You can learn a lot from it, and we have to really go in and digest the film and really get on the video starting tomorrow. And sometimes you learn more from that. So what was their mental approach? How did they take care of their bodies? What was their approach when they stepped out on the football field? So there's tremendous teaching opportunities within that, and I think they learn. Sometimes part of it is reading your team and reading their body language and having sudden change in practice, which we did. We had a sudden change in practice just to get them going a little bit with team run situation, and then trying to throw the football as well in blitz situations. In terms of Sheriron, it's sometime in June. Again, it'll be how the body heals, but we fully anticipate him being ready to go for training camp. But right now we're told it'll be some part of June.
How much do you feel for Sheriron, a guy that told me he routinely thanks you as much as possible for letting him come back from Colorado?
Well, I think all you need to do is everyone needs to talk to Sheriron Jones, and he embodies what this football program stands for. Here's a young man that made a decision and then decided to come back to his family. And he understands what it means to play here. He understands what's expected in our football program, and all he does is work. He's a young man who, after every practice, comes up and says, "Thank you, Coach, love you." And to me, that's what this football program is all about. He embodies that, and I love him, and he was taking tremendous strides, making great strides. It's unfortunate, but we'll get him back. Today, Quentin Dormady got most of all the reps along with Zach Jancic. So, those 2 individuals getting those repetitions were very healthy.
Butch, after Saturday's scrimmage, you said you needed to go back and watch the film to see if the defense did, in fact, win the day. What was your assessment after going back?
The offense won the day, and that's why they had the smoky gray helmets on. That's why they wore their orange jerseys. And when we scrimmage again at Neyland Stadium on Saturday, the defense will have that opportunity to win the orange jerseys back and wear the smoky gray helmets. But it was very, very competitive. It came down to a final plays. And so we talk about when we're searching for those 25 points, you never know which point's going to make the difference.
Well, freshman number of early enrollees the last couple of years. How do you kind of go about determining whether you get recommended for somebody? Is it better for some positions than others?
Yeah, we've had quite a few. I think when you look at the year previous to this year, we had 25, and then we had, I believe, 4 or 5 this year. So, we've kind of set the standard in the country with mid-year enrollees, and it's something we've done everywhere we've been. I think it takes a different type of individual. It takes a mature individual, but every individual we've had has really benefited from it. You know, you get a jump start academically, so you're able to really graduate in 3.5 years. You get acclimated to a collegiate strength and conditioning program, and you gain, you know, this semester of spring football, and a lot of times just the growth in one semester is the equivalent of a redshirt year, and we've noticed that, and it's really been beneficial for us in really flipping our roster and turning our football program around.
Coach, you're really high on Brett Kendrick on Saturday. Is he pushing at both spots? What do you think a chance of him back in the guys on first?
Well, that's a great thing about Brett is, you know, Brett has the ability to play a number of spots. He can play both guard positions. He can play both tackle positions. And we're even trying to get him a little bit of reps at center as well. And again, it all comes down to finding the best 5, you know, then the best 6, the best 7, the best 8, and put the best individuals on the team that can help you win.
And I know you don't want to brag about it, but it's safe to say, I mean, you look out there the other day, you're missing 3 starting offensive linemen, and you still got talent on the field. I mean, it's a dramatic difference from where you were 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, do you see that? I mean, I'm sure you want to build more.
Oh, yeah, you see it. And, you know, we need to get to a point in the defensive line like we are now in the offensive line. We need to get to a point with that. And, again, that's recruiting over a long period of time. But there's a lot of competitive spots right now on this roster, a lot of competitive position groups, and that's what we talk about is power of the position and being 9 strong. So it's been very, very healthy. But again, they're still learning. A lot of these individuals are going through their first spring. So we had some individuals who had a very good Saturday performance, and they came out here today, and you know they got to understand how to rejuvenate themselves each and every day they step on the practice field.
Butch, can you talk about Drew Richmond and just what you've seen out of him, and how consistent has he been?
Drew has been very driven. Drew continues to progress. Been very pleased again with him. I think it's the maturity of him understanding snap and clear. If you make a mistake going a million miles an hour and then play the next play and don't let that one snap beat you. And Drew has done a much better job with that. He's worked very hard in the weight room. He's added strength. He still needs to get stronger, but he has the athleticism. He definitely has the ability, and I've been really, really happy with his progress, and it's important to him.
Knowing how vocal he was about this being his time, ready to step in after redshirting last year, have you been surprised that he's been ready to go and answer the bell each day?
Well, I think every day is a learning experience for him. Again, especially when you're playing the left tackle spot, it's coming at you every play. And so again, I think it's just that consistency and performance day in and day out, practice in, practice out, period in, period out. Just all those are very, very important, and he's learning. Again, he's going through his first spring. And so right now he's learning as he goes, but I've been very pleased with his progress.
How much did Khalil McKenzie need a spring camp after missing his senior year and then having to get back into playing shape a year ago in camp?
That's what a lot of people forget about Khalil is Khalil didn't play competitive football his senior year. So he comes in, and then he was hurt in training camp, and he missed, I believe, 10 to 15 days of training camp. So again, having him back and really that mental endurance, and that's probably the biggest thing, especially with young players, is the mental endurance, is fighting the mental fatigue, being able to play in and play out at a very high level. So for Khalil to be able to go through a spring football like this is very beneficial for him and our football team.
You've had some of your signees here at some practice this spring. Nathan Niehaus here today. How key is that for them to come and see some of the expectation and see how their future position coaches running things in practice?
Well, it is big, and there's some rules which some things they're not able to do. So, but for them to see how we practice and kind of the standard and the expectations by which we conduct the practice and the level of physicality and really the overall speed of the game, I think it helps them when they go home to finish their senior year now is in their training, and they understand come August what they're going to see.
How did Quentin do with just him being kind of pretty much the guy today?
He did good. We'll see the video, but again, you learn through repetitions, and we had a lot of different team pass situations today, so those will prove to be invaluable for him.
Good.
Coach.
Thank you, Coach.